I could also have some personal stories of examples of how I learned to expand my horizons to include other perspectives.
Next exercise. Repeat the previous exercise, but try not to put any words on the sounds. Just listen to the sounds. Every time you perform a word, oh, that's a car in the distance, that's my own breathing. Brush away the words. Try to get more and more into the sounds and away from the words. See what happens. If you feel a little stoned, or if you feel like you've gone into a hypnotic trance, the exercise has worked. Otherwise, take a course in meditation somewhere.
That might help, like when I found the correction factors when I was learning how to shoot a bow in archery at target, how I had to correct it. And when I saw the target, where I had to aim to hit the target. Yeah.
Next exercise. Go to a place with a lot of green growing things. Remember my rap about the great magician who makes the grass green? Look and see how many different shades of green you can see. And just remember that. The few Western intellectuals, or East Coast intellectuals, the heirs of the Western Occidental intellectual tradition, who get beyond black and white, say, well, there are shades of gray. Look around, see how many shades of green you see. Newton divided the spectrum into red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But that's the only convention that Newton invented. If you look, you see green has 20 shades, 30 shades, 40 shades, depending on how much you look. If you go to a paint store, you'll find dozens of shades of red, dozens of shades of orange. The way we got this black-white dichotomy, I think, is because of all the years spent poring over books which are black print on white paper. Occasionally your eyes get so tired you see a gray blur. So this is how we arrived at the marvelous conclusion: between the blacks and whites, occasionally there are grays. That is such bullshit. Look around you. The world is inglorious technicolor. See how many shades of green you can find, like I said. And remember the master who makes all those shades of green. Now get yourself a pair of shades or sunglasses or whatever you call them, and look at the same view and see how it's changed. Did the change occur in you, in the grass, and the glasses, or in some kind of relationship, a functional relationship? Now for the third one, which is only for the real hombres among you, the real tough guys. Dare to be your own czar. Smoke a joint and look at the same scene again. See how many shades of green you see this time. Are the greens in you, in your in the shrubbery and grass and trees, in the pot? Where is the green? Okay, that's the end of that exercise.
And also the inverted image in our view camera, because that's the way our lens and the lens of your eye actually shows the picture, but your mind automatically flips it around because of your experience of seeing that. And it's different in your perception the way it shows through your eyes.
Next exercise. Get the same group together and have everybody describe the room next to the room you're in, the room they came to get into the room you're in. See how many differences arise about the colors of the walls, the colors of the rugs, how many objects are in the room, what sort of objects are in the room, whether there were flowers in the room and that. And by the way, when you're doing the separation into classes exercise, divide them into living things and non-living things. And for instance, we got a flower back here which constitutes a living thing. No, it doesn't. It's an artificial flower. Never trust what you see. If you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him.
Also how hard it was to grasp the concept of depth of field when I was studying for my photography degree. I might have been because of my lack of depth perception.
Now, And I repeat one more time, it's much more profitable. You cannot believe how much more profitable to do these exercises rather than just hearing about them. Do them. Then you will understand what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you think I'm talking about some objective universe that exists apart from us, which is a total fiction nobody's ever encountered. All we ever encounter is what we tune in. Now that you've done those exercises, I'm going to give you a really hard one. This is sort of a variation on my pontification, spectacles, testicles, brandy, cigars. This one goes the other way. You imagine a light around your genitals or within your body, whirling white light. Then you imagine one in your solar plexus, one in your throat, and one in your head. And you got all four of those lights glowing brightly. This requires some work in imagination and visualization. Keep the lights going so you can feel an increase in heat. And then make the light flow through these four chakras or centers or whatever, energy pockets or imaginary entities, whatever you want to call them, with the words, "There is no God." And stop and feel, experience the universe totally without God or anything remotely like God. Then move the white light here, and then here, and put in the words, "Except God." And where the two crosses meet, you have your heart, what's called the heart chakra. Let that open and let light and love pour out to all sentient beings, including the ones you can't stand, especially the ones you are most inclined to regard with fear and loathing, such as maybe George Bush or Osama bin Laden or Fu Manchu or Arnold Schwarzenegger, whoever is your pet peeve in the whole world. Let the love pour out to all of them. Keep repeating this exercise until you really feel the love pouring out. Then where did the love come from? Did you create it? Was it there all the time, blocked by your usual preoccupations? And what does this do to your attitude towards the whole world?
That's what I tuned when I was marching, but never when I was at car. Even because I had a frame of reference when I was at car. And learning how to drive on the left side of the road when I was in England. But it's not confusing if you also drive on the right side of the car because then you have the same thing to orient a line in the middle of the road to orient yourself.
Finally, one final exercise. Divide everything you've ever tuned in into two categories, the material and the spiritual. And what you tuned in, of course, that includes what you've experienced, what you heard about. Everything anybody tells you, anything you read, that's part of the tuned in, you realize, I hope. Okay, divide it all up into the material and spiritual, and then go to a weekend intensive workshop on Zen Buddhism with lots of meditation exercises. And see if something's moved from the spiritual to the material, from the material to the spiritual.